you want to learn how to make donuts in bulk that are very fluffy, very yummy, and very delicious, then you should watch this video till the end. Hi faves, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be making donuts, and don't worry, I'm going to even give you a bonus. I'm going to teach you how to make milky donuts in bulk. Yes, I said that. So let's get into it and not waste our time. The first thing you need is a measuring scale. For your donuts to be accurate, you need to use a measuring scale. So basically what I'm doing is I'm measuring the plastic first before I begin to measure the flour. Don't worry, all of the measurement will be put in the caption for you. I can also leave them on the screen so that you can see. So you want to ensure that your measuring is very accurate. One of the mistakes that people make when they are baking is that they do not follow exact measurements, and when you don't follow exact measurements when you are baking, your baking is not going to turn out nicely at all. Is going to have fault. So please and please follow the exact measurement. You want to ensure that your measurements are accurate. That is why there is a need for a baking scale. So now that I've measured my flour, I'll take it out and then I'll pour it into my mixing bowl. This bowl is specially for mixing our doughs and all of that, so it is very safe and clean. The next thing I'm going to also be measuring is some sugar. Yes, to make donuts you need some sugar, and depending on how sweet you want your donut to be, you can reduce the sugar or increase it. But this is how I like my donut to be, because most of the time when you want to eat donuts, you don't just eat donuts straight up like that. You still coat it in sugar, or you still do the raining one now, the milky donut thing, where you still had a lot of sugar. So you need to cut down on your sugar consumption, faves. So please, when you're making your donuts, you can decide to increase your sugar or decrease it, but this is the measurement that I find good enough for my sugar. So now I'm going to also pour that sugar in there. The next thing we also want to measure is our yeast. See, let me advise you, use a very good yeast so that all your ingredients will not just waste, because using a bad yeast can waste all these ingredients that we have mixed together. So please don't use a stale yeast that you've had in your house for like 3 years ago. Use a fresh one that you know that this thing is still good. Then we also use some salt, and we'll mix everything together to combine. This is all the dry ingredients that you need to make donuts. Very simple and very fast. If you don't know how to use a measuring scale, the first thing you need to do when you're using the measuring scale is to first weigh the plate you are putting on it before you now calculate the amount of liquid you are adding into that plate. Okay, so this is the level of water that I'm going to be using for my donut, and this is the butter or margarine that I'll be using. When the recipe calls for butter, Nigerian use margarine, so don't mind us. So this is the level of margarine that I would be using for this donut, and it's going to turn out really nice. Don't worry, like I said, the detailed measurement and everything will be in the caption, and I will also include it in the screen for you. You can even use this to start a business for yourself and make some very cool money, because in this Nigeria that we are in, you have to have multiple streams of income. Now you're going to add some eggs to this. Okay, donuts, your donut needs egg if you want to have a very fluffy donut. So like, as I was saying, this Nigeria that we live in, you need to have multiple sources of income. So if you are like maybe you work in an organization, or not a very corporate one, you can be making these donuts, or you can even start a business delivering donuts with this video. That is why you need to watch this video till the end, so that you can know all the tips and tricks of making a perfect donut. Don't worry, there is a trick for frying donuts. So if you think, oh, I've learned all the measurement, let me go away, I know it now. Okay, watch the video till the end. There is also a trick for rolling your donuts to get the perfect shape, because one of the things with baking is that yes, your pastry can taste nice, but if it doesn't look nice, That's another problem. So now that we have added our butter, we will also add our eggs to the mixture. Please be careful so that there is no the back of the egg is not in your mixture. You're also going to add some water to this, and then you will mix this with your clean hands, or if you are lucky enough you have a mixer. I usually use a mixer for my donuts, but because this is like a bulk production, we decided to use our hands to mix it. Mind you, when you are mixing donuts, you need to knead your donuts very well. Like, okay, all other pastry, maybe you can just knead them for a little bit. Maybe apart from bread, you can just knead them a little bit. Donut also gives bread vibes, right? So you need to knead your donut very well. Oh, my faves, knead that donut very well so that you can have a very fluffy donut. So one of the, I won't say hardest, but one of the things that take much time to knead apart from bread is donuts. So what she's basically doing is kneading that donut until we get that consistency and texture that we want. As you can see, the dough is already looking way different than when we just started. Consider this video your donut masterclass. After watching this video, you don't need to watch any other video if you want to learn how to make donut like a pro, something you can sell and make money off. Now, if you don't have a parchment paper, this is how you can make your baking tray non-sticky. Okay, I learned this a while ago, and this is what I do if I do not have a parchment paper when I want to make my donuts. Apply some oil to your pan and then sprinkle some flour on top of that pan, and then shake it very well so that the flour balances well on the pan. And when you put anything on this, it's not going to be sticky and you're going to be able to remove your dough very easily. Okay, now you've learned a new hack, because now parchment paper is quite expensive, and most people, when they want to make donut, they'll just cut the parchment paper into like smaller pieces. You can see that our dough is now stretchy and ready to be molded. Now, the measurement I use for my donut is 80 grams per donut. Make sure to measure it on your measuring scale. That's why I said when you are making donuts, you need a measuring scale. Now, you want to roll your donuts with your palm like this, and the hole between your thumb and your index finger. Just keep rolling it until the donut is looking smooth on the edge like that. So you can also roll it on a table if you do not know how to use this technique, but this is the technique we use for rolling our donuts. So we'll just place the donut on a very plain hand and then apply some flour to our other hand, and make sure to roll the donut in the hole between our thumb and our index finger until you have something that looks like this, because you want the edge of your donut to be smooth. She will do it again so that you can see what I'm talking about. Roll it with a bare palm, and the other palm apply some flour to it, and that is how we roll our donut. So this is what our donut looks like. You just need to let this donut proof for 45 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, depending on how well the donut proofs. You can see that the donuts have doubled in size. Now you can keep them in your oven or keep them in a warm place so that they can proof very well. Now the next thing when you are making your donuts is your oil. My faves, well, don't use any other thing apart from vegetable oil to fry your donuts. I know what I'm talking about. I've experienced this before, so I don't want you to waste your ingredients or even just waste anything that you are using at all, because the economy is not smiling for waste at all. So don't use any other thing apart from original vegetable oil to fry your donuts. Don't use all this canola oil or all this kind of thing. They will give you a very different result that you do not like. Now when you are frying donuts, I told you I'm going to tell you the hack, right? You don't want your oil to be very, very hot and bubbling like that. You just want it to be hot enough. Once you can see these tiny bubbles around your donut, you know that your donut is frying. This is where a lot of people make mistake when they are frying their donut. They will make the oil very hot, so the donut is going to fry in the exterior, but it's not going to fry, the donut is not going to be well cooked into the interior. So you want your oil to not be so hot, just hot enough, like a little bit hot enough, not so hot as if you want to fry chicken or you want to fry fish. That is the secret to making all these Instagram donuts that you are seeing and all these fancy donuts that you see in all these restaurants. They don't use so much like too much heat to fry their donuts. They just make it fry as if they are slow cooking it in that oil. That is the secret to frying donut too. Because you can see that this donut now, you can already see the white line. The white line is giving a B. That's how they fry donut. Okay, so just keep frying it on that low heat like that. Don't worry, it's not going to take a lot of time until you can see that it is brown like this. You can see the ones I have here, they are already looking good. And when I open them, you will see that they are cooked in the middle, and the middle is not just, the exterior is not just brown, and the interior will not be fried well enough. So my faves, that's the secret. When you see all those fine donuts on Instagram and you be admiring it and say, oh God, when? I've just let you in on this very important secret now. When you are frying your donut, make sure that your oil is not too hot. Just keep frying it as if you are slow cooking it like that. If your heat is too hot, you can transfer the donut to a lesser place in your gas so that the heat does not affect your production. Because like I said, your donut needs to fry on low heat. I have made a donut recipe before on this channel that did not come out with this white line like this, and the mistake I made was that I fried my donut on very high heat, and my measurements too were quite different from the measurement that I used in this one. So this is how you make donuts that has that white line. Is very sweet, very delicious, something you can sell, and something that you can even like teach your, or even if you are like a mother, buying all these pastries outside now, God help us, we don't know how the hygiene of the places that we're buying them from. So you can even make it yourself, or even sell it, or just something that you can even make for your children to just teach them when you guys are like, maybe they are on holiday or something. You can just make it for them and they will definitely love it. So this video is like almost for everyone. You need to watch this video if you want to be frying your donuts like an odogu and not a an amateur. Okay, so you can see my donuts are already, like, this is the second batch that I'm frying. I think we made a total number of is it not 40 something donuts? I can't recollect now, but I would share my base recipe with you. But this one, I know I'm making a batch number of donuts, so I just multiplied that my base recipes in the description box. So just do well to check it and you'll be good to go. Just follow those steps and your donuts will be coming out looking like a beautiful sissy like this. Okay, don't mind me, I'm quite playful, but our donuts, we are done frying our donuts, and look at how fluffy that donut looks. It looks very pillowy, very sweet, very delicious. This is something that if you ask me to buy, I'll definitely bring out my money and say, okay, take, and I'll buy. So this is what you also want to do. You don't want to make donuts that will look, that will not look that the look will not be giving. This one, the look is giving, and it's very delicious and it's very yummy. Now you can proceed to coat this with some sugar if you want, or you can just put this in a box like this, maybe give it out. It's sweet enough, but a lot of people like to still coat their donuts in sugar and all of that. Please be very mindful of the sugar intake and all the sweet things that you are eating, no, because health is wealth, my faves, make I tell you. So now I'm going to teach you how to make milky donuts. So when you see all those milky donuts videos online, the first thing they do is that they coat the donuts in powdered milk. They'll use powdered milk to rub the body of the donuts and then set it aside. You can rub everything, but I'm just going to be making a few milky donuts as an example for you to see. I will even leave the measurement of the milky donut ingredients for you. Now that I have coated this one, you can already see that it's looking good. Now to make the filling of the milky donut, gong, that's like the milk that will be inside the donut. Ejekuje is too much in this world. Okay, so this is what they do. They will add 1 cup of condensed milk to a bowl like this one, and then they would sorry, my voice is quite cracky this morning. I've drank water and I don't know. So they'll add 1 cup of condensed milk to this bowl like this, and then they'll now add half cup of powdered milk to the bowl and mix this thoroughly. You want to mix this until the consistency is like this milk and this condensed milk, they have become one person. You want to mix it like this. You can add evaporated milk at this point to also loosen things up in this place, but evaporated milk, everything is expensive, so according to how you can afford. But yeah, as long as you get something like this is like the filling for the milky donuts. Okay, so just mix it thoroughly like this to combine, and once your milky donut is well done, you will get a piping bag like this. Is 100 naira that is sold for. Just ask when you are buying your donut ingredients, a piping bag. Transfer your milky donuts in filling into that piping bag. You don't want to overfill it. Then use something to poke a hole in the donut so that your piping bag will have access to enter the donut. You can use a spoon or any sharp object. Then you press in the filling into the donut, and you can see how it is looking. Repeat all this process for all the donuts. Make sure you press in the filling as much as you want the donuts to be filled. You can also use jam if you don't want to use milky donuts filling, if you don't want to use milky filling for your donuts. And this is how it will turn out to be. It is very delicious and very nice. Milky donut is what is raining now, so you can also, if for instance, if you be able to sell your donuts for like, let's say 350 before, when you do milky donut you can sell it for 500 naira. So you see, sense no go keep person for this life. So this is what your milky donut would look like. Okay, so look at the inside like that. So my faves, this is how you make your milky donuts and your donuts in bulk. We made a total number of 45 donuts with this recipe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Please like and share.